I just got out of therapy like 30 minutes ago, so I'm in a talkative mood, so this is like the best time to make a video. I also got a Red Bull and I haven't eaten anything, so this is gonna be fun. Woo! Okay. Hi everyone, it's Yasmin here, your relatable 20-year-old, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about that exactly, being 20 years old, and why it's like the worst age possible. Let me explain. You're in between the teenagery and the adulting. It's like you're in between those two things and no one takes you seriously on either side. It's like, oh, you're an adult. You know, like people say you're officially an adult when you're 18. Wrong, by the way. It's so interesting because when you're 20, you're in your 20s. No shit, Sherlock. So you're 20 years old, you're starting your journey to, you know, in your 20s, but it's like the beginning. So everyone you meet thinks you're a baby. Seriously. Also, you don't feel like you're teenagery enough. That's not a word, but it's okay, we're gonna use it. You don't feel like you're teenagery enough in order to hang out with the teens, not really fitting in with the adults either, because you feel like you're too young to understand or comprehend what their issues are. What I'm trying to say is you'll hang out with people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm 25 or I'm 26, and I'm just like, oh, I'm 20. And they're like, oh my god, you're such a baby. But then when you hang out with the teenagers, you're just like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Things that you don't even understand. Like, I'm a part of the Gen Z. Gen Z represent, okay? But when I look at like my younger Gen Z peeps, I'm just like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. Red Bull break. Woo, it's like fireworks, oh my god. Let's get into like the actual story. Being 20 and being in between 19 and 21 is like not the best mix of both worlds, because you're constantly feeling like you're going in and out of this like transition in your life, and you're constantly feeling like you aren't being understood by anybody. Oh, by the way, I have a hard time making friends, and like especially after high school, I just kind of fell off the wagon of having friends because, for one, I did not go to college immediately after high school, and two, I just didn't necessarily have a lot of friends in high school to begin with. So there was, and three, sorry, let's not forget the third one, which was I still live outside of the city that I went to school in, so I used to have to meet with my dad every. Not really having friends can really suck. So when you're trying to make new friends, which is kind of difficult when you're not necessarily in a physical setting because, you know, COVID, and so with community college, that's not really something that I can do. When you don't have like an established friend group and you're trying to make friends outside of high school and outside of college in a normal college setting, it's very difficult to find people who are around your age that get you. It sucks because even people within my age group I don't necessarily resonate with. This video is literally all over the place. Next subject, the feeling of going through a midlife crisis. This is something that, one, I take seriously, but on the other hand, I think is like a complete joke. One, it's a play on words because a midlife crisis, middle, me being the middle, being a 20-year-old in between 19 and 21, ha. I make great jokes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm fantastic. So the feeling of going through a midlife crisis. Let's actually look up the definition of that real quick. A midlife crisis is a transition of identity and self-confidence that can occur in middle-aged individuals. Okay, pause. I feel like people should include 20-year-olds because that has got to be the most midlife crisis that you could have. It should be a different word. It shouldn't be midlife because we're not in the middle of life, right? Midlife, because you're in the middle of a midlife crisis. Yeah, no. Transitional youth, I want to say. Basically, being 20 is almost the most important time in your life. That's the start of the beginning of your transitioning into adulthood. Some say that your transitioning ends by the time you're 26, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it makes complete sense because a lot of people are still in college. A lot of people are still trying to figure out what they want to do for their life, for their career, if they want to have a career, because capitalism. You feel like you're literally losing a part of yourself and you have no control in stopping that at all. You just kind of have to move and roll with the punches and just keep going and going, because we live in this capitalistic society that tells you that you have to keep on going and going, and you can't stop. You can never stop. You can never stop and just think for a moment of what's actually happening. You're kind of like pushed into this fucking whirlwind of opportunities and possibilities, and it's so overwhelming, and no one tends to like even stop and think like, what the fuck is happening? I'm not high, I promise. I'm not high. I wish I was, but I'm not. I think it's just so important to realize that while I say being 20 is the worst years of my life, it's also like the best years of my life. That means that I'm going into a transition of adulthood, and that I'm going to be learning more things about myself that I don't know, and I'm going to be meeting a new me constantly. Like, I'm going to be what's the word? Evolving. I'm going to be evolving constantly throughout my 20s. I remember seeing a lot of meetup groups. I use the app Meetup. A lot of people have groups of like, oh, 20s to 30-year-olds. And I'm just like, I know they're not talking about 20-year-olds. I already know that. First of all, no 20-year-old probably uses the app Meetup. Second of all, most people who do are like in their mid-20s to 30s. That's why they use 20s to 30s. But they're not including like younger 20-year-olds. It's just so tiring because I just never really know what my place is, and I feel like I'm too much of a grandma to relate to the people around my age as well, but I also feel like I'm too young to resonate with people who are older than me. Whatever. Next topic. Never feeling like I'm doing enough. I can go on and on and on about that subject. I think that feeling of never doing enough is, honestly, let me roll a clip of this video I saw with this, I think she was 10, I don't know, this 10-year-old entrepreneur girl. Like, just watch it. Just watch it.
At 10, you're stuck. You're not really a kid, and you're not really an adult, and you're very clearly not a teenager. But seriously, I can't wait to work. I can't wait to really work, to have a job.
Like, when I was 10, I was still fantasizing about having a relationship with Niall Horan from One Direction. Not whether or not I'm going to be able to make 6 figures. The fact that we live in a capitalistic society definitely plays into a role of why people are so go, go, go. Seeing those kinds of videos, one, makes me completely terrified of the future generation, but two, just also sad in a way, because it's almost like no one really has a real childhood anymore. I remember seeing that kids want to become YouTubers, and it's just kind of sad that kids don't just want to be kids. No one should be thinking about that at that age. Now, you know, as a 20-year-old, I still feel like I'm not doing enough just because of like the content that I see and the people that I see on social media, where, you know, I look at Billie Eilish and she's only 19 and she's literally a worldwide star. It's just crazy to me to think that, did I miss my chance of being able to produce generational wealth for the people after me? Or am I just in a complete bullshit simulation and I'm in the Matrix? I'm just 20 years old, and it's not that I'm not doing enough. One, everyone takes different paths in life, and not only that, a lot of people go at different paces. Some people go faster than others, some people go slower than others, some people just stay wherever they are. There's like no rules in life, and I feel like we've made these rules in life of what life is supposed to be. It's very difficult to feel like, oh, I don't really have to do anything in order to be seen as valuable as a human being. Knowing understanding what being a human being is, first of all, it literally has the word being in it, which just means that you're being. That's like the only thing that you have to do is just be. There's nothing else that has to be put on top of that in order for you to be valuable. You can just be. You can just live your life the way that you want to live your life. And people think that they have to do X, Y, and Z and like leave a legacy and just all these other things, which granted, I put that shit on top of myself as well. I'm not saying to not follow your purpose or follow your career path, but I think that people just don't really be for a moment. All you're going to be going off of are people's ideas about you and not understanding yourself the way that you understand yourself, and not letting any external ideas pollute that idea of you. And it's very difficult. We're grown up in different ways with different people. We're basically fed these ideas that your parents grew up listening to, and then their parents grew up listening to, and so on and so forth. I think it's so important to like reel back in and kind of reparent yourself to understand what you truly enjoy and what you truly like to do, or how you want to present yourself to the world, and not let anyone else make you think otherwise. This has nothing to do with the video. This is just like a rambling rant. Next topic, solutions. While I have to accept the reality of being a 20-year-old and having responsibilities, I also want to continuously pour into my creative outlets and just not have to worry about whether or not am I being valued based off of what kind of career I want and things like that. Just enjoying this life is so important, and enjoying my 20s and enjoying being 20 is so important. I'm so grateful that I am a 20-year-old, even though it can be annoying sometimes. Really, it can be so fucking annoying, but it's okay. At the end of the day, it's okay, because honestly, everything is just so light. That's the way that it's intended to be. And I'm so grateful that I get to say that, even going through some emotions of uncertainty and instability and things that I really, really hate, especially as an earth sign. Solutions for you if you're watching this video. One, practice gratitude, because gratitude is such a great way to practice being light in this world, especially amongst all the chaos. Meditating, such a great way to just be in oneness with yourself and just be mindful of everything that you're doing. Praying to God, to the universe, to your spirit guides, to your ancestors, to everybody that has your back, because trust and believe people got your back even if it doesn't feel like it. I know it's very easy to believe that that's not true, but I promise you it is. Find trust in yourself and everything will just flow. Not saying that things aren't going to be difficult from time to time, because trust and believe, that's what this life is all about. It's all about trial and errors. Learn to live lightly and just learn that things happen and that you always bounce back from it. You're still here. I'm out of here. My name's Yasmin, if you didn't already know. Great talking to you. I'll catch up with y'all later. And I'm very happy at this moment, and I'm going to bask and just enjoy this moment as long as I can, because I know that it's going to be pretty short-lived. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and just love. Just love. Hug yourself today if you haven't hugged yourself today. Give yourself a little rub, a pat on the shoulder, caress on the face. Just all that physical touch and love that you deserve all so well. Bye. Mwah.